volunteers collaborated with the Tiny Pine Foundation to carry out drive-through distributions in Butte County. Take a look at how Zheng Guochen overcame his hearing impairment and became a university professor. Selamat datang ke Dah Headline, saya Simon Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. In Northern California, Tzu Chi collaborated with Tiny Pine Foundation to carry out drive-through distributions for the fire-affected residents in Butte County. They distributed blankets and cash cards to over 1,200 residents. Here's more.
So today we're doing a drive-through distribution. It's a distribution of supplies and hot food, and it's for people that were impacted by the Bear Fire. So we're anticipating to serve 1,200 people. The line right now is 13 blocks long, and there's like over 300 people in line.
Instant noodles and instant rice and mask.
So going to the different cars, we were able to give out some support system, financial support or assistance. Being able to give assistance, it felt very relieving. At the same time, challenging too because of the emotions that comes behind it.
Tzu Chi being out here is an excellent resource, not just for the blankets and the gift cards, but for the further on resources. But I actually knew about the Tzu Chi beforehand because when I lost my home in the 2008 fire, you guys were the people that helped me the most.
Everyone has been amazing. Like I keep saying amazing, but some of the people have lost everything in fires themselves. And for them to know what it feels like and then to come and be here for people in need.
So we're grateful for this right here, right now.
I had friends that were camp survivors, and they told me to give contact to you guys, and we were alive. We got out of there with our lives. I'm just trying to learn about as much resources as I can so I can rebuild and get back to where we were.
Two years ago, Sulawesi experienced a 7.5 earthquake, which caused over 2,000 deaths and 80,000 homeless. Tzu Chi worked with the government to help the disaster zone and has remained to this day. More recently, the villages were completed and over 1,000 families moved into their new homes.
Palu City is 78 kilometers away from the center of the earthquake back in 2018. The quake caused a tsunami which nearly destroyed the entire city. 9 days after the disaster, Tzu Chi came with blankets and other necessities for disaster victims. Though the roads were blocked, Tzu Chi worked with the military to get to the victims. There was no running water or electricity, but Tzu Chi's instant rice was able to provide a hot meal for the hungry residents. Besides the immediate assistance, Tzu Chi also assisted in rebuilding the region. From checking the residents' qualifications to groundbreaking of the land, Tzu Chi remained by their side.
They have been helped by Tzu Chi, and it's quite moving. I come for them so they may smile once more.
Sedapat mungkin kita usahakan dia bisa tersenyum kembali. Akhirnya dia juga tersenyum gitu. Lihat rumahnya kan, aduh rumahnya bagus juga, bagus gitu. Terus udah gitu ngelihat mereka begitu antusias, kayaknya kita senang banget.
In May of this year, Da'ai First Village was completed and 1,042 families moved in.
We are happier than they are because we provide them with a home to live in so that they can live a secure life.
Tzu Chi remains and has seen hope and strength instilled back in Palu.
I am really happy to be able to come here in Palu to care for the residents because in Palu, I can feel the power of love.
In Batam, Indonesia, the pandemic has worsened and the frontline medical workers urgently need epidemic prevention supplies. Tzu Chi volunteers in Batam immediately donated masks, protective clothing and other materials for them.
Boxes of anti-epidemic supplies, including masks, protective clothing, and other materials, are placed next to the driveway to facilitate medical units to collect. Standing at the front line for epidemic prevention, the port's health management officials also especially come to collect.
Although COVID prevention supplies are easily accessible now, there are many workers in the port and on the ships, so it's better for them to wear masks. I am very grateful that Tzu Chi can provide such materials.
Especially in Batam, the number of confirmed COVID cases has increased dramatically, making medical personnel more stressful at work. What Tzu Chi can do is to provide the strongest support.
Batam is currently severely affected because everyone thinks that their lives have resumed normal and didn't follow the anti-epidemic measures, like without wearing masks together.
This time, a total of 25 medical units and 30 healthcare workers received the supplies and disinfectant to help clean the environment.
Judith Rolinas had a brain tumor on her head since young. It continued to grow as she got older, but financially, her family didn't have the money to send her for a surgery. It wasn't until she came in contact with Tzu Chi that she received the financial assistance for the surgery. Now she's a wife and a mother, living a good life.
Siguro na paghihapon akong sakit sa karon, then mao nang magpasalamat gud ako sa Tzu Chi Foundation nga akong gitabang.
This is Judith Rolina, who is 24 years old, and looking at her now, she seems like the typical young girl. But when she moves her hair aside, you can see why she's different.
The tumor on my head was there when I was born. When I was in elementary school, other students would not play with me. They would make fun of me. I was scared of going to school, and then in the end, I stopped going. It wasn't until the 3rd grade when I discovered my tumor was getting bigger.
Due to her family's finances, Judith did not have surgery. It wasn't until 2013, when Boho Island experienced an earthquake, that she connected with Tzu Chi. Then her life changed around.
Nagpasalamat ko sa Tzu Chi Foundation.
I really want to thank the Tzu Chi Foundation for their financial support for this surgery. It has given me a second chance in life. The doctors are experts in their field, but are still very kind to me. So thank you, Tzu Chi, for the assistance.
Uban pa, salamat sa Tzu Chi Foundation.
Now Judith is married and is a mother. She is living her happily ever after, all thanks to Tzu Chi.
Zheng Guocheng has severe hearing impairment since youth. He struggled during his younger years in school because he couldn't hear, but he was determined to become a teacher, following his father's footsteps. After overcoming many obstacles and difficulties, he finally became an assistant professor at the National Taichung University of Science and Technology. Let's take a look at his story.
The laughter and joy of company for Zheng Guocheng easily disappears with the removal of his hearing aid.
When I take out my hearing aid, the world is silent. It's painful and lonely.
Zhen has severe hearing disability, and he did not have a hearing aid during his pursuit of education, which hindered his confidence, and his grades suffered.
The mouth shape for 1, 4, 7, and 10 are all the same, while the mouth shape for 6 and 9 are similar. How can one tell the difference?
Depending solely on lip reading to understand the world around him, Zhen worked hard in his studies and used 5 years to retake the college entrance exam. Meanwhile, it took him 11 years to retake the master's entrance exam.
He has this resolve and determination. He has seized his life's goal and is continuing to pursue it.
The day we got the results for the master's course, my father was super excited. I've hardly seen my father cry, and he did that day from being overjoyed.
His father is an elementary principal, and due to his father's influence, Jin also became a teacher despite his odds.
注意看哦，亲本来是这样子，但是他们用这个代替，亲一叫男生自己，亲一叫爸爸，亲一叫妈妈。
He's currently one of the few hearing impaired professors teaching in college.
他没有架子，就是很和蔼可亲的跟你讲。
我们有不懂的地方，我们只要去问他，那他就一定会很细心的教导我们。
I hoped after my students have interacted with me, they can understand how to further interact, what languages to use, or even their thought process, with people who have hearing impairments in their life, like family and friends.
Sometimes he's invited to share his experience with others to act as inspiration for the youth of today. Other times, he writes opinion pieces for media platforms.
I write because I want the average people to know our difficulties, our pain. People often get into conflict because they don't understand where the other person is coming from.
Always speaking up for the disadvantaged, Jin is standing up for what he believes in and making a difference.
To celebrate Teachers' Day, Tzu Chi volunteers held a tea serving ceremony at Ruifang Industrial High School and Shizhi Junior High School in New Taipei City. Students were invited to follow the traditional rituals to show respect to teachers by serving tea. Here's more.
To celebrate Teachers' Day, Tzu Chi organized a teacher activity at Tzu Chi Junior High School, where students were invited to conduct a tea serving ceremony. The Mid-Autumn Festival is also about to come. The hand-painted patterns on the promos were especially meaningful.
We not only focus on their diligence, but also the inheritance and continuation of Teachers' Day. I think Teachers' Day is of profound significance to teachers.
Serving tea to teachers can allow children to respect their teachers from their inner hearts. The whole process is more than something that is just superficial, letting them deeply understand and transform their minds.
These photos that have never been disclosed are all teachers' treasures, and each one has aroused an enthusiastic response from students.
I hope it will be hosted every year. Teachers are happy seeing it, while students feel the same too. They'll say, "Teacher, how come you look like this in the past? You're so handsome, so pretty."
Teachers normally won't tell us this in class. I'm very happy that the school has organized such activities so that everyone can get to know more about the teachers.
The Knights Department of Ruifang Industrial High School has held a tea serving ceremony for teachers for 3 consecutive years, and the relationship between teachers and students has become closer.
This activity allows our teachers to get closer to the students and our students to thank the teachers for a year of hard work.
I saw the teacher play basketball, which inspired me to make this card.
The student had made a card for the teacher, expressing her gratefulness and full of blessings.
It's my honor to meet a good teacher like him, who always gives us a lot of freedom and teaches us with love.
Receiving a thank you card from students is the most valuable gift for teachers in Teachers' Day.
In Tainan Matou, there was a recycling volunteer called Wu Wangye. She once worked 7 odd jobs for the family. After she retired, she devoted herself to environmental protection, working from morning till night. She set a role model for the local volunteers. Yet on September 10th, she passed away due to illness. She still did recycling a few days before she passed. She was truly doing recycling until her last breath, spending every minute of her life contributing.
Good neighbors, they are all good neighbors. Otherwise, where can I collect so many recyclables?
The recycling frontier Wu Wangye started doing recycling early in the morning in the past 10 years.
Sometimes I collect 4 times a day and they'll keep it for me. I told them that I'll give it to Da'ai to Tzu Chi. You know, to me, it's better to know more people than having money. I'll donate the money to Tzu Chi.
This baby stroller is her exclusive recycling truck. She is energetic and cheerful. When she was young, she did 7 jobs at the same time for her family.
My father failed in business, so we moved to Madou. It's very hard. At that time, we sold out our farmland. I did washing in a restaurant. I also went to hospital, post office, and fire department to clean.
After retirement, she devoted herself to recycling. She not only cultivated blessings and wisdom for herself, but also for her most concerned children and grandchildren.
I wish my whole family to be safe with blessings and wisdom, happiness and joy, and my grandchildren's success and career. Bless all of my offsprings.
In recent years, her son, who is good at painting, decorated her hometown using murals, making her very proud. Yet, she only takes care of others and the earth.
If there are new volunteers in a recycling station, she will teach them if they don't know how to do it.
When she didn't feel well, I went to see her. She was very happy and said that it's the Bodhisattva who asked me to go to see her. Then I took her to seek medical attention.
Volunteers often visit her who lives alone. A few days before she died of illness, she still stuck to her post.
I want to bless her. She really did recycling until the last breath.
During recycling until the end of life, 85-year-old Wu Wangye drew a brilliant end to her life.
Rather than trying to eliminate waste, we can also think about how to turn waste into valuable resources. This type of thinking has been promoted by European and American countries who are now promoting a circular economy. In our following report, we'll dive into the world of Tetra Pak and see how a change in packaging can help save our environment.
Tetra Pak has an 80% market share of the Malaysian beverage market. They are sold in most supermarkets and their economic value is self-evident.
Recycling has integrated in the design of this package since the beginning. When we are developing a package, we must make sure that it can be recycled.
When the market was still using glass bottles, this company chose paper that could be 100% recycled. Simple creativity made the successful packaging business.
Originally from Sweden, this package is sterile and is very lightweight. When you open the bag, you can see that it contains 6 different materials.
Cutting open the package to see what is inside, one finds it is 75% paper, 20% plastic, and 5% aluminum foil. The concept that the more a company sells, the more it can earn is now outdated. Many are now thinking about how to make the product last longer. The Swedish company in Malaysia has found a partner who can help recycle their product. The journey of circular economy unfolds with the help of this company.
We're responsible for recycling the Tetra Pak in Malaysia. The waste from the factory and expired products, no one processes it, but we recycle it. Other paper mills are not willing to deal with this because it is simply a waste for them.
The waste that others don't want is actually treasure in the eyes of Mr. Lee. This machine, introduced from abroad 8 years ago, is like a juicer, separating pulp, plastic, and aluminum foil. After several different generations and improvements, it has become a high-performance machine. While the pulp is extracted through the technology behind the machine is the secret of this Malaysian businessman.
It's a commercial secret, as extracting the pulp is a confidential business secret. Some of the machines that we started using were quite common in the market because it contains aluminum and plastic. The pulp is only 50%, but today we can say that almost 99% of the pulp can be recovered.
After the pulp is separated, it's completely regenerated into rolls of recycled paper, and the aluminum foil and plastic left behind goes on another journey. Here it is air-dried and pressed into an aluminum plastic panel. This board is made from 7,000 Tetra Pak inside, and it can be used for a wide range of purposes, such as roofing or walls. It is an ingenious and creative product.
In fact, some people in the market are looking for this kind of material, but they don't know that there is such a thing. We don't know that they need this thing. So in fact, if we want to promote it, many people have even better ideas. Sometimes we don't know the purpose of it, but others might. Some people actually tell us how they can use this product.
Past economic models believe that products are worthless after they are used up. Now the business model created by circular economy includes recycling and reprocessing, allowing resources to return to the system by recycling raw materials. And the other products, such as PET bottle, is part of the closed-loop recycling. This step is called bathing the PET bottle. After sorting and breaking up the body of the PET bottle, it enters this stage, soaking in hot water at 85 to 95 degrees. Some chemicals are added and it's washed back and forth 5 times. A clean bottle makes these plastic flakes.
出来都纯纯干干净净的。对哦。我们过后还会过几道材质分选跟颜色分选，来确保它里面的杂质是少于0.0001%。
Some may ask that doesn't this process consume lots of water and electricity? 200 tons of water used in the factory every day are 100% recycled. Palm husks are even used as popular energy source nowadays, and is the only source of power generation in the entire factory. It's not only efficient, but also environmentally friendly.
One of the slogans in our environmental protection work is that we don't want to cause secondary pollution in our production process. We don't want to do recycling, which will further pollute the environment.
The young CEO has strong ideals. After taking over the traditional industry from his father, he innovated and reformed it to maximize the value of recycled PET bottles. But in the final analysis, the ultimate test will be with the consumers. According to statistics, humans use 1 million PET bottles per minute, which when calculated at a height of 25 centimeters is equivalent to 553 Burj Dubai towers. With more bottles used, there will be more abundant materials for the company to use. If the company wants to grow its business, this is perfectly in line with Malaysia's goal of plastic reduction and the blueprint for zero utilization of disposable plastics. It is hoped that disposable plastics will be eliminated within the next 10 years.
政府呢，就是希望在这10年里面呢。
The government hopes that over the past 10 years, the top 10 most commonly used plastics will be reduced to zero. And secondly, if these disposable materials are still needed, we need to pursue 3R: reduce, reuse, and recycle. And the 4th R is replace.
Material 的话，不可以？我们有 3R 嘛，reduce, reuse, recycle。第4个就是 replace。
It is not so much a reduction in production at the source, but reduce the use of plastics. Instead, it's better to educate this generation and the next generation on how to properly dispose and deal with the plastic you use in a way that doesn't hurt the environment.
A small bottle weighing 18 grams holds much promise as this company is reshaping the value of recycled materials. Products are then exported to Europe, America, Australia, the Middle East, and elsewhere. Before solving the explosion of plastic waste, the opportunity of a circular economy has presented itself, though it may not be the only answer to this difficult problem.
In Hualien, Tzu Chi volunteers hosted a blessing ceremony at the recycling station to promote the correct concept of the auspicious month. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.